Hi guys, my name is Isa. Welcome to my channel. Today I want to talk to you about healing. Let's get started. As someone who has been in their healing journey for 3 years, I can tell you healing is hard. At the same time, living life unhealed is harder. The way that I would describe my relationship with healing, like the concept of healing, would be devotion. I definitely devoted myself into healing. I took it seriously. And that made some people around me criticize my lifestyle choice. They were criticizing like how much time I spent working on myself, or how emotional I got, how much reassurance I would need, or how triggered I would get. Reflecting on it, I realized healing is probably one of the bravest things someone can do. I won't be shamed for healing. I won't be shamed for deciding to fix what I didn't break. Although I don't think those people had the intention of criticizing me or making me feel like I was doing something wrong, it did feel like that. And that's probably because I've seen that opinion going around on social media where people talk about how exhausting healing is and how some people make healing their whole personality. I don't know. I'm here to tell you that if you have to choose between a healed and an unhealed life, you should choose the healed one. And I'm gonna share why. Why did I start my healing journey? I grew up with an almond parent. My dad was obsessed with food and exercise and weight, and he started monitoring me, what I ate, if I exercised or didn't exercise, if I was losing weight when I think it was like 10 or 11 years old. It got to a point where his love would depend based on how well I followed the diet or how much weight I lost. Because of that, I grew up with a very complicated relationship with food, a lot of body dysmorphia, and the sensation that the worst thing that I could do was gain weight. The number one goal in my life should be losing weight, and I would only be loved, accepted if I was my skinniest. I pursued weight loss every day of my life. I felt guilty after every meal. I would go to the movie theater, eat popcorn, and then come home and cry because I had popcorn. It got to a point where I just couldn't do it anymore. Like, I literally broke down in my mom's arms, just like crying, expressing how I didn't know how to live. I didn't know how to treat myself better, because I didn't know how self-love looked like. I didn't know how to teach myself how to eat because everything I ate felt wrong. That's when I realized I need help. I started going to therapy. I started reading self-help books. I started watching the Phoenix Seminar. I started praying. I started journaling. When I tell you I devoted myself to healing, I devoted myself to healing. With my experience in healing, I learned healing is basically making peace with your past. And odds are, if you have trauma and some of it is trapped in your body, most of the things that you experienced as a child are still unprocessed. So healing is basically the process of feeling those unprocessed emotions. And that's why it gets messy, because it's very emotional. And I am probably one of the most sensitive people you will ever meet. So I was crying a lot. I was journaling a lot. I was praying a lot. I was just like constantly anxious over the smallest things. I realized I not only need to heal my relationship with food, I need to heal my anxious attachment, my fear of abandonment, my fear of rejection, my fear of criticism, my self-concept, because I hated myself. I needed to heal my relationship with my mom, my relationship with my dad, my relationship with myself. I had to deal with so many things that it made me feel like food was the smallest thing on my list. And that is something that I wouldn't have realized until I started my healing journey. Was my healing journey linear? No. I did have some moments where I was more devoted than other moments. I was very consistent in my prayers, in my journal entries. I was very consistent in therapy. Then I had other moments where I wouldn't go to therapy for 8 months, or I wouldn't open my Bible for a few weeks. I even got to a point where I just stopped eating. I felt so scared of eating and just food in general, because every meal made me feel so bad with myself that I just decided I don't want to eat anymore. And that was like last year. So as I'm going through my healing journey and I'm feeling all of it, which is so uncomfortable, I completely understand why people don't heal. It's exhausting. The thing is, if you want to live a life where you actually like yourself, you actually love the life that you live, you have to heal. Healing is foundational work. Do you know who didn't heal? The parent that gave you so much trauma. As it is in most cases, it was both of my parents who were unhealed when they were parenting me. And as I think about it, I realize me going through my healing journey is what's going to help me be a great mom for my daughter. because I won't monitor what she eats. I won't condition my love based on if she gained or lost weight. And the only way that I can create that environment is if I create that environment for myself. The only way that I can create that environment for myself is if I heal. Now, everything I've said about healing is very uncomfortable, so why would you want to heal? Let me paint you a picture. How does life look like if you remain unhealed? 30 years from now, you're gonna look at yourself in the mirror and you're going to hate how you look like. Same as today. You'll feel guilty after every meal. You'll be constantly thinking about weight loss and making that your never ending goal. You'll be repeatedly telling yourself that the only way that you will be loved, accepted, and not criticized will be if you are the skinniest version of yourself. And then because you're not, you're gonna blame yourself. A few years from now, you're still going to feel scared of losing your friends. Why? Because every time they go silent, you're going to think, they don't want to be my friend anymore. Every time there's an argument, you will avoid the argument, you will feel defensive, or you won't take accountability. Or even worse, you're gonna stay in a friendship with someone who doesn't respect you, doesn't treat you the way that you deserve, and doesn't even want to be your friend. They're just using you. And you're so terrified of walking away because you don't know how to be alone that you're staying there. And it gets worse. You're going to continue seeing your value on the actions of someone you just met 2 weeks ago. You're going to obsess over every single person that you talk to because you're going to think that if they choose you, that might mean that you're worth something. You're going to end up staying in relationships that don't serve you, with people who don't respect you, don't even like you, and they just have you as a placeholder because you don't know how to walk away. You'll be accepting the breadcrumbs, and even though you're still hungry, you're gonna say thank you. If you're not anxiously attached to anyone in your relationships and you're actually avoiding them, you'll never be with the person that you love because you're just too scared to be held by someone else. How is that better than healing? Because you don't feel your emotions? I mean, you're not getting rid of your emotions, you're just delaying them. And guess what? Your sadness will then turn into anger, which you will have to work on eventually. So now you don't only have to work on your sadness, you also have to work on your anger, which is just twice as hard. And if that isn't enough reason for you to heal, I just want you to think, if you don't heal, you're going to give someone else a reason to heal. Why? Because if you lack the self-awareness that you need to change some things within yourself, you're going to end up hurting other people. Things that they will then need to talk in therapy if they do decide to heal. How can you enjoy your friendships if you're always scared of them abandoning you? How can you enjoy your relationships if you're so scared of saying the wrong thing and them leaving you? How are you supposed to enjoy your youth or your life, your body, if you think you're meant to hide it? If you think you deserve to be punished after every meal? That's not life. You're surviving. There was this one guy that I dated after 2 toxic relationships. This was the first guy that I was like, wow. I wasn't able to enjoy the relationship as much as I would have if I was healed. Why? Because I was constantly anxious. We would always go out on dates on Sunday. So when we started dating and it was going to be Sunday, I would be like, he's gonna break up with me. I know that he's gonna break up with me this Sunday. I'm just like so scared, but I'm still gonna go. I would go on the date, I would have so much fun, and then I would come home. And then for the next week, I would be like, okay, he didn't break up with me last week, but I know that he's gonna break up with me this week. And then Sunday came along and we went out and I had so much fun. Didn't break up with me. Next week, same thing. It literally took me 8 weeks. I needed to tell myself, oh, he was gonna break up with me, and then see him not break up with me 8 times for me to start thinking, I don't think he's planning to break up with me anytime soon. And for me to stop anticipating that he would break up with me. I missed out on the first 2 months of our relationship because I was so terrified of getting hurt over things that I didn't heal from my past relationships. So fast forward, when I was working on my anxious attachment and I was talking with God, I realized God has something amazing for me. He could be the most amazing guy ever who would never break my heart. But if I carry the things from my past, I won't be able to enjoy him as much as God wants me to enjoy him. I won't be able to enjoy the blessing that he has for me if I don't do the work. Healing is foundational. Healing is what allows you to go from surviving to living. And you're trying to come here and tell me that healing is lame and you don't need to heal? No. Oh my gosh, no. Okay, now that healing sounds better than living life unhealed, let me convince you that healing is the way to go. Healing doesn't last forever. I know. as I was going through my healing journey, I thought, this is gonna be my life. I have so many things I need to work on. I have so many triggers. I'm so anxious about everything. I'm going to be journaling every single day of my life. And you know, when I first started my podcast, I was like, okay, maybe that's not a bad idea because that means that I will always have something to talk about. But no, now it hasn't even been 3 full years. I started May 2023. It is currently March 2026. Like a little bit less than 3 years, and I can confidently tell you I am no longer in my healing journey. I've healed. And let me just tell you how life is on the other side. I have a concert in 2 months and a half. And usually, as someone who thinks about weight loss every day, every time I had an event, I would always think like, okay, I need to lose 20 pounds before the event. I need to lose 20 pounds before my trip. I need to lose 20 pounds before school starts. I need to lose 20 pounds before my birthday. So automatically, as I'm like getting closer to the concert date, I'm thinking, I need to lose weight. As I start automatically thinking of the things that I need to do to lose weight, I just stopped myself and I was like, I actually don't want to lose weight. I actually like the way that I look like. And this is not because I'm at my skinniest, because I'm not. I'm literally like 20 pounds away from the ideal weight goal that I had like a year ago. I look at myself in the mirror and I'm like, I love how I look like. I mean, I'm gonna consistently exercise before the concert just because of health, and however I end up looking like, I'm gonna like it. But even if I look the way that I look right now, I'm gonna look amazing and I'm gonna feel confident in my outfit and I'm gonna have the best time of my life. Unhealed Isa would have never said that. What else? The last guy that I talked to, the moment that I saw this guy was not for me, the moment that he disrespected me, I walked away. And don't get me wrong, the unhealed part of me didn't want to walk away. I wanted to stay. But I was like, no, I deserve better. I know better. I've learned better through this healing journey. I'm not accepting breadcrumbs. I am not accepting disrespect. And I left. And then this is a big one. In one of the friendships that I had my fear of abandonment triggered the most, literally the most. The moment that I saw this person was not reciprocating my effort and realized this is not a healthy environment for me, I left. I left. The fear of abandonment didn't stop me. The fear of being alone didn't stop me. The fear of not knowing what's going to happen didn't stop me. I left and I didn't look back, and I'm so proud of my decision. Now I'm at a point where I don't fear abandonment because I know that's not the worst thing that can happen. Abandonment is only bad when you abandon yourself, not when someone else abandons you. So as long as I have God, as long as I have myself, I'm not getting abandoned. I'm not getting rejected. And I'm able to walk away from environments that don't serve me because I am not afraid anymore. I am not afraid of what they might say or how sad I will feel. Because guess what? Healing also taught me how to be there for myself when I'm emotional, when I'm anxious, when I'm triggered, when I'm upset, when I'm crying, when I'm angry. Healing taught me how to be there for myself. Praying, surrendering my need of control to God, meditating, journaling, hugging myself, letting myself cry, getting a support system, going to therapy. Like, I have so many tools that I've learned from healing. Instead of carrying my past into my present and my future, I am carrying the tools that will help me regulate if I get triggered. Healing is not about never feeling upset or never getting triggered. Healing is about making peace with your past, feeling those emotions that you weren't able to process as a child when you were first experiencing them. Healing allows you to identify those limiting beliefs that are limiting your experience in life. Healing prepares you for life after healing. And life after healing is beautiful, because you choose yourself. You no longer cry about your past because it no longer upsets you. Healing isn't linear. Healing isn't clean. It's going to be overwhelming, both emotionally, mentally, and physically. It's going to feel like more than what you can process, but that's okay because you don't have to heal all of your trauma all at once. And honestly, it took me almost 3 years, but that doesn't mean that it's going to take you 3 years or longer. It can actually take you less if you're actually devoted in this process and persistent and you're willing to feel those emotions. Healing will be fast for you. Because guess what? You deserve to feel those emotions. I don't mean it in a way like you deserve to be upset. No. I mean it like you deserve to have a space where you get to experience the emotions that came up when you were going through something hard. If you experienced abuse in your household and you weren't able to process what fully happened as a child, and you didn't have anyone to talk to with, or you didn't even have a space to cry, as an adult right now, if you can give yourself that space, give yourself that space, no matter how uncomfortable it is, because you deserve to feel those emotions. You deserve to fully process what happened to you so that you can let it go. Do you think that little version of you deserved to not have someone to talk about it? Do you think that little version of you deserved to avoid and ignore their feelings just because no one was there to support them? No. If you have things that make you sad, it is totally okay for you to be sad. I promise you, it won't last forever. Every single time that I would cry myself to sleep, I would think I could cry every single day and it still wouldn't be enough for all of the pain that I'm carrying. And I meant it. And now I think about what I went through and I don't feel like crying because I made peace with it. And that's what healing does for you. Don't let yourself become the person that broke you, because you will end up breaking other people. That's what people mean when they say hurt people hurt people. The person who hurt you is most likely someone who was also hurt. So don't let that hurt within you grow and settle, take roots, because you will end up hurting people that you don't mean to hurt. You will end up wasting your chance to live the life that you deserve. The life that you deserve is at the other side of your healing journey. I hope that my experience encourages you to heal. I don't know if I've shared this before in my other episodes. The reason why I started my podcast is because I realized how scared I was as a child and how much hurt I was carrying with me. It just broke my heart to think that there are people out there having the same experience as I did or as I was. And I just couldn't take it. So I was like, once I heal, I am going to share my journey. I am going to share my story so that they know that they're not alone and they know that life can be better and will be better. Now, before I leave, I do want to say I was able to go through my healing journey because of God. He was the one who gave me strength every single moment that I felt weak, every single moment that I felt like I just couldn't do it anymore. He gave me peace when I was anxious, when I was afraid. He softened my heart so that I could forgive those who hurt me, so that I could let it go faster. And I am 100% sure that God wants to help you in your journey. So take this as a sign to invite him into your journey. Thank you so much for listening. I swear, I'm in love with every single person who listens to my videos. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe.